No DQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of Friday Night Smackdown for January 6th, 2023. Shout out to all of the early birds, Ryan Dempsey, Sal, Ken Terminates DQ, Nick Glavin, Kid Curry 420, Darren G, Walter Cruz. I appreciate you all very much. Tonight, I will be recapping SmackDown and ranking the key segments and matches from worst to best. Did SmackDown start off on a high note? Well, let's break it down. First, before we get to the main segments, I will talk about the short segments, not going to rank them. We had Charlotte Flair, the new SmackDown Women's Champion, arriving in a fancy car, living the high life. She is the daughter of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, after all. LA Knight did a promo backstage, basically hyping up the Pitch Black match coming up at the Royal Rumble. LA Knight said that Bray Wyatt's plans went up in flames last week when Uncle Howdy attacked him, and now everybody's talking about LA Knight. He said when the lights go down, the lights will go out for Bray Wyatt. No Bray Wyatt on this show, by the way. We had that Cody Rhodes video package from Monday Night Raw shown once again, hyping this up for all it's worth. We also had Drew McIntyre and Sheamus at Jerry Lawler's bar to hype up the tag team main event. They were hyping each other up, chopping each other, slapping each other on the back. They were getting into the groove for this match. I guess they're called the Banger Bros now. So there you go. That's their new tag team name. Did they win the titles? Stay tuned. We had a Lacey Evans training video. I do not care about this. I have little to no interest in Lacey Evans at this point. I do not care about reboot number 515. Can't even say it. That's how frustrated I am. We had a video package for Braun Strowman versus the Intercontinental Champion Gunther. That is on next week's SmackDown. Now, there were 6 key matches / segments. Coming in at number 6, at the bottom, Karrion, Kross, and Scarlett versus Madcap, Moss, and Emma. This was Scarlett's first televised match, to my knowledge, from what I recall. I know she's done a few live event matches, but I believe this is her first time wrestling on main roster television. She might have done some NXT matches. Somebody in the chat room, let me know. Now, why was this match in the bottom spot? Not much to it. It was a very basic tag team match. Emma and Scarlett went at it. Emma was on the verge of winning when Kross got in the ring and pulled Emma off of Scarlett. Emma slapped Kross, and then Madcap Moss tagged in. Then on the outside of the ring, Scarlett grabbed Moss's foot, and then Scarlett took out Emma, sent her into the ring post, and then Kross got the victory with the Kross jacket submission. Darren G pointed out in the chat that I'm on Twitch. Yeah, this is being broadcasted on various outlets, including Twitch. So if you do have a Twitch account, you can watch the No DQ live streams over there. After the match was over, you had Kross put a Rey Mysterio mask over Madcap Moss, and then Kross held up a tarot card with a picture of Rey Mysterio on it. And Kross looked at the camera and said that this will soon be Rey Mysterio. TikTok. Like I said, not much to the match, and Karrion Kross versus Rey Mysterio. I mean, we're all waiting for Rey Mysterio versus Dominic. Like, that's the match people want to see. The Karrion Kross stuff is just filler. So that's what it was. Not too noteworthy. Coming in at number 5 for this week, Ricochet versus Top Dolla in a Royal Rumble qualifier match. Now, why am I not a fan of qualifying matches? I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't make sense. Why do certain people have to qualify? Like, people declare themselves for the Rumble all the time. Why did Ricochet have to qualify and not, say, Seth Rollins or anybody? Doesn't really make sense to me. You would think that in kayfabe terms, it would just be announced that 30 people get drawn at random, and sometimes legends are thrown into the mix as possible Rumble entrants, and it's a random drawing for the Rumble. You don't know if you're getting in or not. It's just a random drawing. It's to fill time. That's the real reason they do it. It's time filler. And this was a very basic match too. I mean, it was quick. It was only a minute or two. Ricochet won with the shooting star press. And I agree with Walter. Like, it shows how low on the totem pole you are if you have to qualify for the match. So in a way, I feel like it makes the competitors look bad. Like, they're not worthy to just be able to declare themselves for the match. It's dumb. Never been a fan of it. And afterwards, Top Dolla went for a handshake. Ricochet was a little hesitant, but shook the hand. And then, of course, the attack. Ashanti Adonis super kicking Ricochet, and then B-Fab hit a big boot to Ricochet. They left him laying 3-on-1 attack. And then Braun Strowman ran down to make the save, help out his little buddy Ricochet. So I like the heel turn. I mentioned this last week. The seeds were planted last week. I think Top Dolla has been long overdue for a heel turn. But the match itself, I mean, whatever, and just not a fan of the qualifying matches. But they needed something for these guys to do, I suppose. And Walter said, have they ever had women qualify? I don't think so. They might have. I know Liv Morgan basically declared herself on this show. That's another short segment I forgot to mention. So we had Kofi Kingston versus Santos Escobar in my number 4 spot for this week. And they were doing Royal Rumble teases. Before the match, you had Legado del Fantasma confront Kofi Kingston, and Santos vowed to eliminate Kofi from the match. And during the match, Kofi did his little deal where he landed on the steps, avoided hitting the floor, and Santos was not able to replicate that. He hit the floor, but then Kofi ended up getting some punishment. Santos took control, and Santos even mocked Kofi on the steps. And then Xavier Woods scared Santos with the trombone. Kofi managed to rebuild some momentum. He hit the SOS, but Santos kicked out. And then Kofi came off the top. Santos caught him with a knee. Kofi kicked out of that. And then Kofi was on the verge of winning. He went for the tip, the Trouble in Paradise, but his leg was grabbed. And then things got heated on the outside of the ring with Xavier and Legado del Fantasma. And that's when Santos got the upper hand again and picked up the victory to build up some momentum heading into the Royal Rumble Premium Live event. He damn sure ain't winning, but he got some momentum, so good for him. Coming in at the number 3 spot for this week, Charlotte Flair, and I'm including her match too. She had a promo and then a match. She talked about Ronda Rousey. She said, "Payback's a bitch." Crowd chanted, "Thank you, Charlotte," which she did appreciate. She said she was overwhelmed by the fan reaction when she returned. Said she's always been about whether she's cheered or booed. She's been about passion, dedication, and consistency, and she's not complacent. Sonya Deville quickly interrupted and wanted to know how Charlotte would do against a fresh fighter because Ronda Rousey had already wrestled when Charlotte issued the challenge last week. Sonya wanted a title match right there on the spot, and Charlotte accepted. Now, I have been watching wrestling for a very long time, as many of you know. Never until tonight have I ever heard the chant, "Whoop that trick." I looked it up. Apparently, it's a slang term for kicking someone's ass, and I think the Memphis basketball team uses it as a chant, and that's why the show was in Memphis. So yeah, I was like, what the hell are they chanting? I had no idea. I actually had to Google it to find out what it meant. So hot crowd, it wasn't a piped in chant because it was very specific to the city of Memphis. This was a good crowd, by the way. They were into the show. So anyways, basic title match here. I enjoyed the promo more than the match. Sonya did get in some offense, but then Charlotte fought back, did some chops, and then won with the figure eight. Nice first night after winning the title for Charlotte. So far, so good with her as the SmackDown Women's Champion. No Ronda Rousey, by the way. Nothing from her. And then the number 2 spot of the night goes to the main event. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus challenging the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Walter Cruz says that chant was from the movie Hustle and Flow. Never saw it. So this was a really good match to main event the show. Usos double-teamed McIntyre for a while, and then Jey Uso drove McIntyre into the barricade. After the commercial break, Sheamus tagged in, did the beats, and you had clips of Sami Zayn backstage with Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn stayed behind. Now, I'll explain more about that in just a few moments here. But yeah, Sami Zayn was watching backstage with Roman Reigns. He was eating some popcorn, and the Usos regained the upper hand. Uso splashed by Jimmy, but Sheamus kicked out. And then Sheamus and Drew McIntyre hit double white noises. Drew McIntyre did a big dive to the outside onto the Usos. And then he hit the Claymore back in the ring to Jey, but Jimmy broke up the pin. Then Sheamus tagged back in, and Sheamus did not see a tag made. Usos hit the 1D, but Drew McIntyre broke it up. And then on the outside of the ring, you had Solo Sikoa hitting McIntyre with the spinning solo onto the barricade. Sheamus was all by himself, and the Brawling Brutes arrived to try and even the odds, but it was too late at this point. Sheamus hit the bro kick, but Jey Uso pulled him out, and then Jimmy Uso rolled up Sheamus. Jey, the old Uso trick, Jey ended up helping with the leverage from the outside of the ring, and Jimmy Uso got the 1-2-3 victory. So very good main event here. Predictable outcome. Did not expect a title change, but good main event. I enjoyed it. And after the match, as soon as the match was over, Sami Zayn backstage, he spilled his load of popcorn. Popcorn just spilled all over the place. He was so excited from the victory. And I have to tell you, that is a gif of the year. Sami Zayn unloading his popcorn. That will be used for many years to come. I can almost guarantee that. Anytime, like if you see a picture of Mandy Rose, you're going to see that Sami Zayn gif. You just know it. It was great. Sami Zayn was really funny. Now, my number 1 segment included Sami Zayn, of course, because it just has to. Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Walter. Says, can't wait to see what happens next with the Bloodline. Me too. I'm very intrigued. And Walter, you forgot your whole hashtag stick to my shtick. Like, share, comment, get merchy, nodq.com/merch. You're slacking a little bit here, Walter. You got to pick up the pace with the plugging and the comments and the hashtags. So anyways, Bloodline kicking off the show. They did their NWO style raising hell, and they were tipping over things. Roman Reigns arrived. Crowd was chanting Usi, and Roman Reigns said that he was going to give the people what they want. Not a big hug, but he said that they would get to hear from the honorary Us, Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn got on the mic and said that 2023 belongs to the Bloodline. Reigns said he doesn't want to talk about 2023. He said he wanted to talk about what happened last year. And he talked about how Sami Zayn lost. It wasn't Roman that lost. It was Sami Zayn that lost. And he said that Sami Zayn made the mistake of calling his shot. And Roman was pissed. He was like, is Sami Zayn trying to be the tribal chief by pulling a Babe Ruth and calling his shot? Reigns got fired up. He got right in Sami Zayn's face. And then Kevin Owens interrupted before we had some potential fireworks from this. And KO said that Sami Zayn is not the problem. He's the problem. And he wants Roman Reigns to do something about it. Kevin Owens challenged Roman Reigns to a world title match at the Royal Rumble. And then Owens said that he'll see Sami Zayn once Zayn digs his balls out of Roman Reigns' pocket. Backstage, we had Sami Zayn trying to talk to Roman Reigns, but he was not allowed at first. Paul Heyman was saying it wasn't the time, but then later Roman Reigns did give Heyman the go-ahead to allow Sami Zayn in. So Sami Zayn came in and talked to Roman Reigns. Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. Says, oh man, the pressure. LOL, here we go. Like, share this video on all platforms. Get hands on some merchandise. Feel merchy. Hashtag stick to my shtick, because can Sami Zayn beat KO? I don't think he will, because we have that match official for the Royal Rumble, and I do not see Kevin Owens losing before the Royal Rumble. So my guess is Sami Zayn is going to choke, and that will further escalate things between the tribal chief and Sami Zayn. But we still have these twists and turns. Backstage, Sami Zayn was very upset. He wanted to apologize to Roman Reigns. He was not trying to be the tribal chief or take any power. Roman Reigns said he does not accept the apology. But that's because Roman Reigns said he is the one that should be apologizing. He lost his temper. Reigns said that KO is right. Reigns said he is mad at the wrong person. He took his anger out on Sami Zayn when he should be taking it out on Kevin Owens. Reigns said he is going to fix that. And then Heyman said Sami Zayn can redeem himself next week by going one-on-one with Kevin Owens, as Walter said. And Sami Zayn said he'll take care of it. And he was going to go to ringside for the main event, but Roman Reigns told him to stay behind. And that's when they had their popcorn. And then at the end, Sami Zayn basically let out his load of popcorn. And that was SmackDown, everybody. Entertaining show. I give it a solid B. Best stuff on the show was the Bloodline stuff. Sami Zayn stealing the show again. It's been so entertaining. And I was talking to Virtue on Facebook. Roman Reigns just continues to get better and better. And I love all the little twists and turns in this Bloodline storyline. Is this going to be the night when all hell breaks loose? But they're slow building it. We got these teases and these little swerves. I'm loving it. And, as WrestleMania gets closer, I believe we'll see things continue to evolve in the storyline. But right now, it is the best thing in wrestling, in my opinion, and that includes AEW. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to everybody, but a special shout out to Walter Cruz for being part of Team No DQ. Very much appreciated. Hope to have him back on the No DQ review soon. And yeah, there is a lot of news. So cheap plug, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, the No DQ review. We will be talking about all the stuff going on. Vince McMahon is back. How far will this go with Vince? Mercedes Moné in New Japan Pro Wrestling. A lot to talk about. So tune in for the No DQ review this Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Take care, everybody. I'm off to watch the AEW shows. No, I'm not recapping them, but if there's any major news coming out of the show, there will be updates on NoDQ.com. So stay tuned for all that. And of course, stay tuned to the website for all the latest news regarding the Vince McMahon story that could end up really making 2023 somehow just as big of a news year as 2022. And I did not think that was possible, but we're off to a noteworthy start and things could only get more hectic as the year progresses. So take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. And remember to say yes to NoDQ.com. And I will see you all next time.